What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben and welcome back to the bench. Today I wanted to go ahead and forego the D520 and I wanted to give you guys a look at my spray booth. I've had a couple subscribers ask some questions regarding what type it is, how I use it, what does it look like. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a rundown on that. So the reason I got a spray booth, because I was doing a lot of airbrushing, especially during the 12 sprues, and ended up getting paint pretty much everywhere, all over my cutting mat, and it just kind of drifted around the room. And I had a lot of the fumes just kind of hanging in the air because I work in an area that doesn't really have a lot of cross ventilation. I have one large window, but you can't really get to it. It's not that accessible and there's no cross breeze. So whenever I do any sort of painting, the fumes just linger. So at first off, I thought I would combat this with picking up a respirator. And actually that worked really, really well. This is a 3M respirator. It's got replaceable filters here. You can just twist those off, pop them on, put on new ones. These are just the basic filters. I was told by the guy at Home Depot, go with these. It's got a very nice, comfortable retention system. Does have a quick release. You can actually get it nice and snug to your face. And when you need to go ahead and talk, you can open that up, drop the mask low, and you can talk just like normal. So it's actually a really nice little tool to have. And I figured with that, that would actually protect my lungs from any of the residual paint floating around in the air. So that worked really, really well. But I decided to go ahead and further augment my tools and my supplies here for airbrushing by picking up an Airbrush Cleaning Pot. I found this on Amazon. It's no big deal really. It's just a very simple little device that allows you to take your airbrush and plug it into this little rubber gasket nozzle. Then all of the air comes out through this vent and these different filters pull out all of the atomized paint. So you do get air that comes out of this, but it takes care of all that little paint particles that float around. Of course, that only covers the paint particles. It doesn't cover the fumes. And because I worked in an area with no cross ventilation, I needed to do something else. That's why I went out and I picked up a spray booth. Now, I actually got mine from a company on Amazon, but I'm not sure they exist anymore because I looked at it and I couldn't find them. Now, having a spray booth is really, really awesome, I have to tell you. So you can see here, it's not a very complicated mechanism. And when I picked this up, it came in a nice little package. You've got your base with your fan and your filter. You've got your hose and your coupling. Then you've got your turntable and you've got your LEDs. It went together extraordinarily quickly. It didn't take much effort at all to get this all nicely plugged in, get the LEDs installed, drop that hose on top, and I was ready to start spraying within about 10 minutes. Now, of course, when you do get this, it does give you these step-by-step breakdowns of how to get everything put together. And literally, it all just kind of snaps into place. It is kind of meant for being portable. Not that I'm going to move it around a lot. You know, the heaviest part is really just that back-end motor. Everything else is fairly light, easy to carry plastic. So that's kind of nice. On top, you have all your switches, you have your air vent, and when you got everything plugged in, man, it is a super, super nice tool to have. So I thought what I'd do is I'd go ahead and take you over to the spray booth itself. We'll take a closer look at it. So I've got my spray booth set up about a foot from my actual building area. So I can just stand up from my bench, shift over, and I can either stand here or I can sit at a bar stool, and that's a perfect height. As you can see in the very back on the top here, this is where we have our switches. We have our LED lighting switch here. So let's go to flip that on for you. And the other switch on top of that is actually for your fans. So this actually has two fans. Let's go ahead and start it out here on the single fan and you can get you an idea of the noise level. So let's go ahead and check it out. Not too shabby, guys. Let's go ahead and check out the dual fan, see how loud this is in comparison. Now, I don't know if you could really tell on camera, but there is a definite increase in sound from the one fan to the dual fan, and you can kind of figure that would be the case anyway. But the dual fan actually works really, really well to pull that paint right up through that hose and spit it out where it's not going to affect you. Now in the front here, I do have my camera set up, and I just threw together some pieces of wood that I found lying around the shop, and this works okay. It's not perfect, but it does work all right for right now. And that's pretty much it for the spray booth. Up on the very top here, we do have our fan and our vent. And as you can see, there's actually this kind of connection right here that plugs on top of this. I haven't actually secured the pipe clamp to it because I'm not moving this around, so it stays on pretty well. But as you can see, it plugs in here and it's got this stiff, flexible tubing. Comes out, it's like an accordion effect here. And it goes out all the way and I have it piped out right there at my window. And this should work for both horizontal and vertical opening windows. So honestly, it is a great little investment, guys. It is heavy though. So if you're going to go ahead and carry this around, keep that in mind. It is pretty substantial, but again, it is portable, so you can move it if you are so inclined. But that's going to be it for us today, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick look at my spray booth. I think is a really good investment personally, because I work in an environment, like I mentioned before, I don't have any cross ventilation. I only have one window that doesn't really allow for air to circulate very easily. So this is great. I can go ahead and pipe those fumes out to wherever I want, and they won't just kind of linger and stay in the air. And it just makes it a safer environment, to be honest. So if you guys are interested in this particular spray booth, I'll put a link in the description below that should give you at least basic manufacturer and model. Honestly, you don't necessarily need this exact spray booth. There are a ton of different spray booths out there. I would recommend, if you're interested in obtaining one of these, just look for versions and options that are going to fit with your needs. Look at the room you have to work with and just make the best judgment based on that. And if you work in an environment with plenty of ventilation, or you already have a spray booth or something like that, pick yourself up a respirator if you don't already have one. I know I paid about $20 for the filters, but I think the mask itself was like 35 or something like that. I actually got it as a gift, and this thing worked like a charm. But of course, if I wanted to take it off, I would smell those fumes. So coupled together with the spray booth, you don't smell anything. And I think I have a lot more protection for my lungs. But anyway, guys, that is a look at my setup. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. I'm no expert with these spray booths. I've just had this for maybe a couple of months now, using it off and on, and I really like it. I'll keep you updated if anything happens, or if I need to replace any parts, I'll let you guys know. But other than that, so far, it's going strong. Let's go ahead and call it quits for today. Thank you so much for joining me. You know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool, and we'll see you back here on the next episode of Ben Builds. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you soon.